All right, welcome to today's lesson. Today, we are going to be talking about, we're going to be reviewing adding strategies. All right, so the main two ways that we learn about adding in kindergarten, and the way to show our adding, because in kindergarten and in most other grades, we always show our work, okay? So the first way that we learned about adding is to draw a picture. And here's how we would do that. If our addition problem was, let's say it is 2 plus 3 equals, okay? How we would show that is we would start with our first number. When we draw, we start with our first number. Now the first number is 2, so I'm gonna draw 2 circles right above the number 2, making sure that they're not touching, because sometimes we draw them like this, 1, 2, and it gets a little confusing when we have to go back and count. So we're not gonna draw it like that. We're gonna draw 2 separate circles. Now I'm gonna look at my next number, and my next number is 3. So I'm gonna draw 3. 1, 2, 3. I always use circles because they're really easy to draw. So now our next thing is that we need to cross out and count. That's a really important thing to cross out, because what I notice sometimes is that students will count, when they go to count, they'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because they've forgotten which circles they've already counted. So when we cross out, it helps us to make sure that we don't count the same circles over again. So we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer would be 5. This is a little bit easier than our next strategy. So we're only gonna do kind of one example problem with that one. Our next strategy is using a number line. All right, so when we use a number line, we have to first have a number line. So here's how you draw one. I always draw a straight line, then I count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then once I make sure I know I have enough space on the end, I'll just add my little arrows to finish it off. So there's my number line. So let's say, for example, our problem is 3 plus 6 equals, okay? This one has a couple more steps. So I try and break it down into 3 easy steps. Our first step is to circle the biggest number. Circle the biggest number. Now in this example problem, our biggest number isn't our first number. Our biggest number is actually our second number. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna circle that number to make sure that I don't forget that that's the biggest number. Then, in addition to circling it here in the problem, I'm gonna find it on the number line and circle it on the number line. That is your first step, is to circle the biggest number. My next step is to hop the smallest number. So my second step is hop the smallest number. So I already circled my number 3, and I already circled my number 6. Sorry about that. And so I know I'm probably not going to use that number 6. Number 3 is my smallest number, and sometimes I like to underline that to make sure that I don't forget that that's my smallest number. Now I'm going to go up to my number 6, and I'm not going to hop backwards because that wouldn't be adding, that would be subtracting. So when I'm adding, my number is usually going to get bigger unless I'm adding a number in 0. So I'm going to hop 3 times. Now when I hop, I'm going to make sure to touch each number that I hop to, because I don't just want to go 1, 2, 3, because then I end up at the number 10, and 10 is not my answer. I need to make sure that I touch each number as I'm hopping. So very carefully hopping 1, 2, 3. And the number that I land on, the number that I end up with, is my answer or my sum. That's kind of our fancy math name for the answer is our sum. So 3 plus 6 equals 9. Let's do some example problems together. So I will write them on my board and then you can try and answer them. And I will leave our number line up there just in case we need it. Okay, then I'll erase this. Give me a quick second. I'm going to rewrite some of the numbers on my number line. Okay, so let me rewrite. Okay, so let's try some practice problems. So our first practice problem that we will do is, let's start with 3 plus 4 equals. So 3 plus 4 equals, and for this one, I'm going to draw a picture. So I'm going to start by drawing the first number. So how many circles should I draw first? 3. I should draw 3 circles because that is my first number. What number should I draw next? 4. I should draw 4 circles, making sure that we're not drawing them on top of each other and that they're not touching. What's the next thing that I have to do? Cross out and count. That's right, I have to cross out and count. So let's cross out and count together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my answer to 3 plus 4 is 7. Good job. Let's try a number line problem now. So we'll go down here to a number line problem. Let's do 4 plus 5 equals. So 4 plus 5 equals. Now, what's the first step that I have to do when I'm using a number line? Circle the biggest number. Is my biggest number 4 or is it 5? My biggest number is 5. So I'm going to circle that here. Do I only circle it here? Nope, I also have to circle it on the number line. Good job. My first step is done. What's my next step? What's the next thing that I have to do? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with this small number. That's right, I have to hop the smallest number. So how many times am I hopping? 4 or 5? 4. I'm going to hop 4 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Making sure I touch each of my numbers. So what's my answer? 9. 9 is my answer. It's the number that I land on. 9 is my answer. All right, now it's time for you to try at home. So get out a piece of paper and you're going to answer 3 problems. Your first problem is going to be, let me get my marker. So you're going to have 3 problems. So on your paper, write a number 1 at the top, a number 2 in the middle, and a number 3 at the bottom. You could even draw some lines to separate your problems. Okay, so next to number 1, this one you're going to be drawing a picture. So you're going to draw 5 plus 4 equals. So you're going to write that on your paper, and that's what you're going to show, drawing a picture. The next one you're also going to draw a picture for. It is 4 plus 2 equals. The last one that you're gonna do, you're gonna need to draw a number line. So you might need a mom and dad's help or a big brother or a big sister. So first, draw your number line. Starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, then you're gonna do the problem 2 plus 6 equals. So that is what your paper should look like. Then you will answer those problems.